guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. So today is Wednesday, so you know what that means. It is Wednesday Whoop or Womp. Every single Wednesday, I try out a different product and I'll do like a vlog style or I'll do like a thorough review, which is what I'm going to do today. But I guess you can kind of say it was a vlog style because I did try out the product within a couple different days and I did see how the product was wearing. So yeah. So I got highly requested to pick up the Subculture palette, and I know this has just been all the rage on YouTube. I'm sorry if you're not interested in the video, but I did get a lot of likes on the comments saying, hey, can you go ahead and get it and review it because you're honest, and I got it that same exact day. Another request I got was for the ColourPop concealers. I'll go get it right now because I just finished purchasing this one. I went online and boom, they were sold out. They were already sold out, and I was checking my comments like around midnight, so I think that was like the day they launched. Of course, I've been waiting for this call for 30 minutes and nothing, and now when I film, watch this. Hello.
Hi, Lizzy. It's Ashley from Hotel.
Hi, Ashley. And I am back. I went to go check ColourPop's website and the concealers are completely sold out, so I tried to get them. Sorry, I just couldn't, but I did recently just post a video on the brand new full coverage Bobbi Brown concealer. Go check it out. You will just be surprised at what the turnout was. So turn up, turn out. Let's get on to the main topic, which is the Subculture palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills. Now, I happen to really enjoy Anastasia Beverly Hills shadows and their palettes. I love their single shadows. They're probably one of my favorite ones next to Makeup Geek. As for the palettes, I do really love them. Are they my favorites all around? No, and I only say that just because I'm a girl who doesn't really mess with color, even though I am wearing, this is considered colorful for me, you know what I mean? So that's the only reason why I would say I don't like it, but I think the quality is really bomb. I haven't really had an issue of one that I didn't really like as far as pigmentation wise and quality. It's just personal preference depending on color, but do I buy them myself? Yes. Do I collect them? Yes, because I'm a makeup lover. Am I off their PR list? Yes, I am. I think I got off their PR list when I started doing comparisons of the Anastasia Brow Wiz, and I said you can totally get the NYX. And once I started mentioning that, the micro brow, and then I kind of said I didn't like their other brow pencil. I forgot what it is. The one that's a little bit fatter, you know, the fatty. I forgot what it's called, but because I didn't really care for it. Then I was off the PR list. Do I mind? No. If a company's going to do that to me, I don't really care, because then I'll end up buying their stuff anyhow and give the same freaking review. I'm not going to go against them or feel a certain way because I just don't. I mean, if you want to take me off, then you're going to take me off. Am I going to say that you took me off? Yeah, because that's the truth. But am I going to bash a brand just because they took me off? No, I don't care. Like, that just shows me the intentions of a brand, I will say that, and I will vocalize that, but that's about it. I'm not gonna go any extra and like do a whole like, I'm gonna rant and I'm gonna protest and blah, blah, blah. Ain't nobody got time for that. But I got the Subculture palette, $42. I'm gonna do like my own review. I will say lots of people were saying that, oh my gosh, they just crumble, this fall all over the place. And I will say watching reviews truly helped me. So if you're someone where on the edge like, damn, I really want to get the palette, but everybody's complaining about it and saying that it's absolute crap. But that's the beauty of YouTube. You try out something and you show people how to use it or what you can do to kind of tweak it to use it. So when I got this palette, I knew immediately, all right, girl, you need to make sure that you tap in very softly or else, boom, pigment's gonna go all over the place. And that is the case. Now, I did notice with a lot of people's reviews, they're like, oh my gosh, like it's going all over the place. Personally, I don't really stab my palette. I felt like some people were being a little extra and pulling the extra mile. And I totally get it. YouTube these days, unfortunately, is all about views and being so different and exposing and all that kind of stuff. One thing I will never do is really reach for a product to make it look like crap. If it's really crap, I'm just going to say it's crap, but I'm not going to make it seem like it's completely destroying my life. So with this, I will say that you do get fallout, but not with every single shade. Like, I did do a couple looks, and I'll show you two different looks. One of them is this one, and I used every single shadow, so I know how every single shadow actually works, which I appreciate because by doing this review, I started wearing color. So let me just give you kind of like an example. Let's do Fudge. So if I start pushing into here, you start getting fallout, right? And a ton of pigment. You guys see that right there? But it's nothing that's like crazy. So when I started seeing people really push until like their shadow was gone and they purchased it, I'm like, what are you doing? You're wasting your product. No one is going to stab into their palette like that. But a good heads up is that if it's having that much fallout, that just means it's super creamy. And maybe the formula did change. I know people are saying that they kind of changed it and they went for a cheaper formula. You just slightly just go like that and you get your shadow, and look how much fallout I have. None. And like I said, that's the beauty of it. I learned that from YouTube. I learned that from other videos. So then that's what I did. So I have no issues. You know, it's not like, oh my gosh, like, what is this? Like, I can't use it. No, I was still able to use it. I will say though, out of all of these shades that I have here, Fudge was difficult, a little bit difficult for me to blend out. If I place too much pigment in one spot and I try to blend it out, I will say that shadow definitely gave me trouble along with Rowdy. So these two were the ones that were kind of like the, other than that, everything else is pretty good. For this one, I just used in my lower lash line one day. So I can't really tell you how it worked, like as far as blending on the outer corner. But I will say when I sweeped Fudge in my whole crease, like I did today, I did have some issues blending out. I'll show you clips of me doing 2 looks. I didn't film the third one. I was in a rush and I just wasn't about it. So I did try every single shade. I will say some of the shades I noticed when I do place them on my lid, they seem a little bit darker than I would think. Say like New Wave, it looks much brighter. And when I place it on my under eye, it doesn't look as bright. It looks like a darkened orange. And that kind of bothered me a little. When I started seeing the reviews and everybody complaining about the fallout, it immediately made me think of the Lorac Pro, because I know that one is so creamy and the shadows are really good, but there's a ton of fallout. So let me go get that palette and test it out, because I honestly haven't grabbed it in forever. Okay, so here's my Lorac palette, and I loved this palette. It was a beautiful palette when it launched. I mean, it's still an awesome palette, but no one obviously talks about it because it's kind of like old news. But this is what it reminded me of when I started hearing the complaints about everything. Say I went into, let's say like black. Let's see. So I start going into my palette, and look how much fallout is going down already. And there's a ton on my brush. And that's from me stabbing it. Let's go into the light bronze one, and I'm going like this. Oh shit, I had the black on there. But look at all the light bronze coming out. That's what happened. So that's, whoa, that's a lot of fallout. Look at that. But I didn't see people making videos on the fallout like that back in the day. Once I started seeing those videos, I immediately thought of that, because a lot of palettes have a lot of fallout. It's not just this one palette. Do I think it's kind of annoying and, you know, kind of sucks that there's a lot of fallout? Yeah, but can we work around it? Yeah. Do I think this palette is for someone that's a beginner? Probably not, because, and I'm just saying that because since there is fallout, you just have to be very careful. I know when I first started messing around with shadows, I always forgot to tap off any excess, which you have to do with this one. I think it was a little bit of issues on blending on the darker shades, like I said, but all the other ones were pretty good, and you just had to have a light hand. I'm gonna show you some clips right now of me using it, and then I'll come back to you. Whoop!
Picture frame hanging upon empty wall, haunting the hollow of my brain, painting pictures while we run underneath the dying light. My braided hair comes all undone, chasing the sun into the night. You see me through the filtered lens, fading the edges of my flaws, reminder of my innocence before it got lost so deep in the forest of our youth. We carved our names upon a tree, inside a heart that spoke the truth. I still hear it beat. We are wild and wonderful, full of wonder. We are wild and wonderful, full of wonder.
guys, so as you can see, I did 2 different looks, including the one today. I just really liked how the palette kind of took me out of my comfort zone. I know a ton of people are just complaining about the fallout and all that, but honestly, you can work around it. Like I said, just be super careful with the fallout. I mean, if you don't want to get the palette, then don't get it because no one's forcing you to. But if you want to get it, hey, try it out. And if it doesn't work for you, just go back to Sephora and return it. That's a beauty in returns. You can return it, get your money back, or if you want to switch it out for another palette that may come out, you never know. Also with this palette, I will say is this like whole velvet front, I'm not a fan of because I know the Modern Renaissance had that as well. It's just as annoying as NARS packaging, how it gets so dirty. At least NARS you can wipe off. This is like the velvet, so once it's dirty, it's dirty. And I'm not a fan. I think it looks really gross when things are all filthy and stuff like that, because if you're gonna use it, especially if you have fallout, then you have to be careful with that. So I will say that's another downfall. I know people are saying that the palette is super comparable to Jeffree Star's Androgyny palette. I don't have that palette. I know nothing about it. I did see side-by-side swatches. I think it was from Trend Mood. Those swatches look super similar. I won't be purchasing that palette just because I just don't buy anything from that brand, and that's just my own personal view, and I'm not going to go into anything like that. I really like this one just because you can buy it in Sephora. You can return it if you want to. You can get a full refund or switch to something else, but just as long as you kind of work with a light hand, that's all I really noticed. And then kind of like you have to be a little bit good at blending, actually pretty good at blending with the darker shades. I'm not gonna lie, to kick it. So yeah, all in all, I'm gonna say the palette's a Woop for me just because it totally took me out of like, is that fallout right there? Oh shoot, maybe I should return it. In between filming, I'm like sweating right now and I have shadow on me, so I don't show you when like I wipe my sweat away just because that doesn't have to be in the video. But yeah, all in all, like I said, it's not a bad palette. Is it my favorite palette whatsoever? No, it's not my favorite palette, but I will say I really like the shades in here because it really pulled me to do different things. Don't be mad if I have a different opinion from you. This is just my personal opinion. That's it. I'm not the one swiping your credit card or debit card on you on purpose. So that's all I want to say. So personally, I can see how this could be a big Woop for people and also be a big Womp. But if it's like the most terrible thing ever and like look what it's doing, just don't stab your palette. Alright guys, well I hope you guys enjoyed this Wednesday Woop or Womp. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up and leave any suggestions down below that you would love for me to review or anything like that. And yeah, I think that's about it. So don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Click that little bell so you can get notified when I post more videos, and I will see you guys in the next one. Don't forget to check out my previous videos down below. Mwah! Woo-woo!